Everyone, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 16. Welcome back to a game of SHRIKEs. We haven't seen this guy in a long time. And look at these colors. It's very interesting. Anyway, this is going to be between SHRIKE and Frowg, another CVS pharmacy matchup. I'm excited to see it. Let's check our info.txt for some more informations. Who's SHRIKE? Ah, just some guy, I'm sure. Looks like this is SHRIKE's pick for the Boneyard. And Frowg is going to grab Kartoba after. No faction swaps. I think Kartoba is probably a wrong pick because this is a very, very good one for Saban, but we shall see what happens. SHRIKE calling himself rusty as heck? Definitely, but I think we all are. But honestly, you know, Frowg is not a bad player. By the way, this is the new Boneyard layout. Type in /L Boneyard alt to get it. Makes this spawn a little bit less depressing, which is very good because it used to be quite imbalanced. But yeah, we'll see if SHRIKE can beat Frowg here. My mind says probably he's the favorite, but, you know, we'll have to see how the game actually pans out. Because Frowg is not half bad himself either. Did lose to Couchmao though, lost to Orbnet in the last games we watched. These are the last ones of his. So I'm pretty sure, sadly for Frowg, there's no chance for him to even get to seed 3 from this group. He'll always be the last seed in the lower bracket, but if he can beat SHRIKE, you know, he'll be able to gain some ego points, which is always valuable. Plus he'll mess up SHRIKE's plans for getting into the upper bracket quite a lot. SHRIKE is going to have to face Orbnet, who will probably beat him, although that is still a matchup that is up in the air. And so, assuming that Orb beats SHRIKE and SHRIKE beats Frowg, it's going to be between him and Couchmao to see who advances to upper bracket. So yeah, it's pretty important for him to not lose any of his games here. Yeah, SHRIKE calling it himself already. I mean, Orb is really freaking good. There's no two ways about that, so we shall see. But I think that that's probably what we're looking at. In that case, these games, pretty important for SHRIKE. He really wants to win them. We'll see how it plays out. Probably gonna come over here and check out what Frowg is doing. Yep, sure enough, that's SC first. And SHRIKE, I think, saw the same, but if not, he's about to. Has his base runner in a very aggressive position, though, up here in the front, where it's gonna try to pick up the artifact. And Frowg might have thought that that was a base runner retire as a result, but in fact, I think that SHRIKE will get this artifact out. Then again, there are LAVs on the field, so we'll see what happens here. May's rooting for his old rival. Yeah, if you watch way back in the day, I think Maze and SHRIKE were definitely in sort of a rivalry with each other for a long time. Yeah, LAVs are standing idle, so it looks like this extraction will get out, and he can use the TJ to delay for a little bit of time, but either way, the base runner will probably die after it gets the extract. Looks like Probe is going to get slain here. That's very nice for SHRIKE. Well, that's the thing, it really was back in the day. Remember that one series you played where you both went Soban and one of you was called Ketchup and one of you was called Mustard? That's a classic right there. And you just did like nothing but carrier power. Oh boy. Good times, good times. Anyway, it's AV Fed for SHRIKE here, he's building some of them of his own. And actually the LAVs did not bother to go hunt down the base runners, so this thing's still alive. That's actually pretty good for SHRIKE. I mean, it's 20% to victory, you could say. And just in general, you know, you don't want to let your opponent get away with his base runner staying alive if you don't have to. Yeah, well, I think that was the idea. I had to, like, cast the series and then go to Battlefy and say, okay, here's who won, because I couldn't even tell. That was a funny one. TJ buys a bit of time, but yeah, this base runner will die. And it looks like it's railguns for Frowg, so immediately he's going to try to answer the AVs here. Oh gosh, I've got the hiccups. Not again. Ooh, peanut butter. If you know, you know. That's an old reference. Down goes the base runner. Turret set up here on the main. So that is gonna stop Shrike from doing any shenanigans with the strike craft that he had there, but I think actually he's pretty happy with this because it's a big investment and all he did was one LAV, so it feels actually not so bad. It's gonna be fighter and gunship tech before he goes up onto 3 base. And for Frog, sure, we're seeing a railgun popping up. Yeah, we see the light blinking, so he's building a railgun here to answer the AAVs. And I think both players should be fine here. We just have to be careful that the Shrike fighters, as they are not going to get too much damage done when they come out, so... Frog will want to try and keep some scouting up on his opponent's side of the map and not, you know, not get killed to death, but... Uh-oh! Oh, you really don't want to get too close here either. Ooh, dear. That was close. Could the LEVs take these two? I think yes, but with a lot of losses, so it's probably not the most efficient way to do it. Speaking of losses, speaking of not a good way to do it, oh no, you can't bring the railguns this close. Ah! Oh, that's not good at all. Okay, I'm kind of amazed Shrike doesn't pop over the hill, because he would just murder this army right now. Base runner getting sought after as well. Which is bad, because if it dies, there's no probe to check the air tech, so... Ugh. Looks like double gunship coming out of Shrike. Double gunship is interesting. I would have thought it would be the strike fighters. It's literally in his name, right? Shrike fighters, you know? Anyway, I guess he wants to use them against the LAV railgun here, so instead of attacking the eco, he's going to attack the army. He's expanding while he attacks. Good, good, good. And surely we'll see those gunships coming out now. This army does look pretty juicy, so, you know. A turpos. Yeah, I guess that's true. He does still have the base runner back at home, so he can set one down if he needs it. But when the strike fighters come in on their first pass, like let's say if you get 5 of them, that's kind of the magic number, you can just blow these up in one hit and then back away. So, either way, Frog is trying to push his opponent off here, but yeah, you can see what's going to happen here. This is not going to be pretty, so avert your eyes if you don't want to watch. And Shrike just buying time with smokes. I love this stone cold right here. Because he knows he's got the ace in the hole coming up. Here come the gunships. Unarmored railguns, they haven't even got armor 1 yet. Oh, it's just gonna be a massacre. Oh. AA turpost can get set up, but the target is not really the eco, so I'm not sure if it even matters. Check the units lost tab, I think that tells the whole story. Shrike has not paid anything for this attack, and he's gotten so much out of it, so... Yeah, pretty good. What can you say? Yeah, well, real men also die to gunships, I guess. And Shrike is just parked outside his opponent's carriers, blowing up his LEDs. Oh, it's awful. Well, now he probably has to back away, but... Yeah, that feels really good, and Shrike is gonna go for the tac bomber fab. You love to see it. I mean, hey, if air is working for you, just get more air, right? So... It's like, at least finally these AVs are gonna get cleaned up here, but it's way too late, obviously. And Shrike can just build more. Would even love to see him get armor too. Maybe with the next gunship attack, take out that turret on the main and push it in there with the AVs, but there's a lot of options here. Speaking of turret, I think it... Oh no, it wasn't shooting. Okay. But he should know that it's there. It killed off the LAV at the beginning of the game. And the other thing that Shrike can do is make 3 base runners and just get his extractions going. That would always be nice, but looks like he's not going to do that. Oh! Oh! There's one! Come on, you can do it! Just press the button 2 more times. Oh, those are LEVs. Those aren't base runners. Come on. Anyway, armor 3, also definitely a good call here. Just because, you know, keep those AVs a little bit tankier. You're going to blow up, like, everything with the bombers, and then having the follow-up with the ground attack is really nice. If you can buff them up a little bit, it's always good to do. Strike fighters? What? You just got bomber tech, though. No, 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 no. Oh. Oh, he's so close to greatness. Oh well, Shrike Fighters it is. By the way, we often hear these things called trash ships by a certain member of the community, but I think that Shrike is doing a good job of showing why gunships are actually pretty good in the right position. Wait, oh my gosh, he does have Strike Fighters. What? How did he find the money for this? Okay, Shrike, I take it all back. You're a genius. Good job. Good job. Wow, alright. Yeah, I take it all back. I can't believe this is actually the right call, but there it is. I'm the caster, and I didn't even realize that he needed Strike Fighters yet. Touché. Well, I still think Heavy Vehicles 3 would have been really nice here. And I think that the bombers are also still going to be very good. But yeah, this game is definitely in a dire position for Frog, I would say. I get what you're saying out about the Fantasy GG timing. I think at this point I would just be giving up. But I can respect a man who stays in till the last, so... He's got the gumption, you know? Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. This is certainly over. Hey, armor 3, nice. And Frog is actually moving out with his carrier, so I guess if you're Shrike, you just use the air units to try and kill it off. He's gonna build some railguns too, but yeah, there's not really a. Wait, he teched BCs? What? What? Okay, what is happening? This is not legal, man. You gotta be joking. Okay, this is actually alright though, as Strike Fighters are not great against BCs, but they can kill them. What is happening? This is ridiculous. Oh, what a game, what a game. Railguns are up though, you know, I mean, I feel like that's not gonna do anything for him. He's actually building bombers as well, which is good against BCs. He's got a huge fleet, he can build whatever he wants. If I were Shrike, I would actually tech mobility, just to get the carrier out of there a little faster. You know, in case it starts getting hooned on by the BC, you can just back him away. But, ooh, driving up into the BC is a little bit risky. But here come the air units. Now we're going to target the BC, rails are on too. BC can smoke for some time, but it's going to be hard to survive when the bomber comes out. Looks like he didn't even use that ability. And now it's just army versus no army. It should be a pretty easy win for Shrike. I like the full armor in the carrier. You don't need it for damage, you just need to survive. It's a good call. And down goes Frog in game 1. I don't know how he kept pulling these techs out of his hat, but alright. But really, I think that game was more or less decided by that gunship reveal, because it was just deadly as heck. I mean, that was insane. So, we'll move into game 2 here. Again, this one gonna be Frog's pick. I think it's kind of a wrong map because it's Kartoba, right? It's very, very good for Savon. But yeah, we'll just have to see what the game plan is going to be for these two players. Shrike is retiring the base runner, firing the probe out. Probably going to be SC first from him. Yeah, well those were definitely annoying, but they can be dealt with. If you notice what Shrike was doing, he knew he had the air coming, so he was just throwing smokes to keep the AAVs from getting shot at when you had the angle on him. And then by the time the smokes expired, the gunships were there, and the rest is history. There's the SC. Looks like this build isn't the most refined from Shrike, but it'll do. I think he started at 2 on RUs. You usually want to do 1 on RUs for SC first, I think. But then again, I don't know how the build lines up with the base runner retire, so it might be different. LEV Fab comes out right away. He's not going to be too greedy. And I'm sure in a moment we'll see him fire this probe out. Same thing for his opponent. So neither of these players trying to pull a fast one on each other. I like to see that. See if the probes run into each other. Oh no, this one just kamikazed into the Kartova. Well, to each their own. Now they're gonna see each other's second base timing. It's gonna be about the same, so I think both players are gonna be pretty comfortable here. Sorry, Shrike will note the difference, which is that there's a base runner there. And it looks like even the probe will die, so that's pretty good for Frowg. This probe is in the Kartova, by the way. Strange things are happening, man.
LAV construction complete. Energy signature confirmed. Pinpointing artifact location now.
LAV comes out, that does manage to kill off the probe, and AV is teching for Shrike. Looks like once again, Frog gonna go for railguns though, so he wants to stick with this game plan. And to be fair, this is quite a railgun map, right? But like I've said before, typically LAV Rail runs into some trouble in the mid-game. He actually has both carry production upgrades already, which is sort of surprising, but in that case I really want to see him using it, pump out some LAVs here. He's definitely got the money for it. Wait a minute. No, he didn't have both production upgrades. He had none of them. Because they're playing vanilla. What the heck? These two guys are playing vanilla right now. Oh my gosh, that took a little while to notice. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh boy. Alright, well it's a vanilla matchup then. You know, fair's fair. Neither player noticed it, so we're just gonna keep this as the official result then. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Okay, vanilla strats time, alright? We gotta remember how vanilla works. No, you caught it with versus Kawashima. This is funny though. Okay, Shrike is doing the right thing then by getting heavy vehicles, armor upgrades, and building AAVs, right? And then he just wants to get a bunch of railguns. Carrier power is like broken good in vanilla if you're a coalition, but it's not good at all if you're Sylvan, so Shrike is going to want to avoid that. Frog is going to want to lean heavily into it. Turrets are ridiculously powerful in vanilla, so he's going to kill off this AV, no problem. This is hilarious. In fact, based on our inventory is going to tech, so I guess Frog really wants to lean into that. But this turret will keep him pretty much safe against the LAVs. I think maybe one of them will survive, but all the others will die here. Incredible Jaraci. Yeah, exactly. I really like Frog's game plan. Just build more base runners, get more turrets. I love it. I love it. But he really needs power reserves, right? That's what's stupid busted in vanilla. Shrike is building his railguns as well. Oh, by the way, you do want to expand to another base if you can here, but I think maybe this is an SC. Shrike having trouble finding the carry production upgrade button, but yeah, you never want to queue this many units. If you find yourself queuing that many, you need to get the production up, right? No, I think this is actually kind of funny. We'll just keep it. If I was watching it live and I was like, hey, you're playing vanilla, buddy, I would have you restart it, but since it's already been done, I don't think it's a big deal. Missile Battery Fab is coming out, probably worried about Shrike getting fighter and gunship here. But these two AAVs are probably going to be like turbo annoying. They're back here on the third base. He's going to have to respond to it with the railguns, but then, you know, his opponent's railguns don't have any opposition. In fact, if I were Shrike, he sees the SC, I would just leave him here. But gonna go over to the main base, it looks like. Hey, Shrike found the carrier production upgrade button. Good. And now, one thing that was really important to note in vanilla was that LAVs started to fall off pretty hard. They're like godlike in the beginning. When your opponent gets the armor upgrades and he gets carrier power, LAVs just kind of can't do anything anymore. They can't really kill railguns very effectively, so... Also, it explains why these AVs are like having such a hard time killing SCs. AVs do like 0 damage in vanilla, it's ridiculous, but they're very tanky, so they're still good for attacking bases. Anyway, we'll see the LAVs against the railguns here. This is with armored 0, so I think that they're still very strong and they'll kill off a lot of these. The turret is set up though, and this is not in a terrible position. But most of these railguns are going to die. It looks like the LAVs are going to turn to look for the base next. It's going to be BC Fab from Frowg. We didn't usually see that in the vanilla days, but in really good coalition versus coalition matchups, they often featured. These Saban railguns are taking names, jeez. I guess that's what they do. I think that Shrike has... No, he doesn't have Mega Excel yet, but he does have armor too, so this makes these guys really tanky. Main base, just in shambles. Don't even ask. Oh yeah, I forgot. So turrets don't have AoE in vanilla, do they? So I guess they kill the LAVs a little bit slower. Well, by slower, I mean they're still massacring them, but, you know, not as much as they would have in Jaraci. I think that's the one case where turrets are stronger in Jaraci is versus SHRIKE. Well, I guess that Frog is probably just holding out for BCs here, but it's gonna be tough because, like, the railguns are already out, and I feel like in vanilla the BCs really could not fight railguns very effectively. We'll see, though. I think that the idea for them was when you were playing on, like, College C, for example, you could plug up the choke points with them, but... Yeah, okay, see, look at the AVs, look how much damage they're doing to each other. Yeah, this is definitely vanilla right here. Oh, boy. These railguns are just taking names, though, jeez. Some weird line of sight stuff is happening with this turret. Just gonna go down. And AVs could always damage salvagers, so this is where they were very effective. With armor 3, they're just so hard to kill. Of course, it would probably help Frog if he would power up his range system here, but, you know. Carrier's taking fire as well. You'll love to see it. This is still so funny to me that this is being played over there. You know what tipped me off to was the unusual numbers of CUs in the bank. Because in Jaraci, the salvagers drop off at 5, so you kind of feel like you're never going to have like a 2 or a 1 in the CU count, right? It happens sometimes when you retire units that have a cost that doesn't divide by 3 or by 4 very well, but Ah, so this is what is meant by fantasy GG timing, eh? Hey man, this is a vanilla carrier, you know? It'll kill every. No, it's not that. Is it? I don't think so. No, surely not. Yeah, okay. Well, funny game being played on vanilla and all, but still. Shrike will take it, and that means he'll take the series 2-0. And that's really good for him, right? I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit too, like, predictive here, but I really feel like Orbnet is gonna be the favorite in this group, and he'll advance Seed 1. And so the question is gonna be between Shrike and Couch Mallet to see who can advance. So anyway, we'll keep our eyes on that, but for now we'll move on to the next one. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your bedtime.